My house, probably going to be in my house forevermore because everybody has locked down again. Blocked down again? No, locked down again. What am I talking about? I don't know. I'm still alright. We're still in this area, still on the not quite yet list, but apparently the area where my parents live, where I was until a few weeks ago, is locking down tomorrow. So joy. So I can't go in, they can't come out, so that's that done. So if I wanted to go and visit them, I can't. So now I'm just here going, oh, right, I don't know what's happening anymore. It was all feeling like it was going back to normal. And I know it wasn't going back to normal, and I know that was all fake and false, but it did feel like it. Somebody came and then somebody went then. I got one viewer and then off they went. Oh, they went. She's talking about that. I don't talk. Let's just not even think about that. What's going on with all that? Nothing. I don't know. It's not even 8 o'clock yet. I usually start at 8. I'm looking a little bit peaky. My eyes are a bit... Yes, I'm just tired. Tired of this whole thing. I don't know. How is everybody? Are you all well? Are you all keeping sane? Probably not, no. I'm holding this in my hand. I don't know whether I should put this down because it's my hand is going to get... So I can only use one hand. The other hand, I have to swap. There you go. Whoops. Yes, that's what you have. You have bookshelves behind you when you're doing Zoom calls. That's not a bookshelf. That's a DVD shelf. How very retro of me. There's a bookshelf. There's books on that shelf. And there's also... They're all music books. For playing music. Do I play music? Not really very much. And there's some books though. And then there's other things. Things. Yes. I think there might be... Yes, just books. There is books. Driven people away again. This is a funny light in here, isn't it? Yes, so I'm in my room all alone. This isn't my room. This is the living room. But, yes. Home Alone. I could do Home Alone Christmas special. Yeah. Nobody here and I can't see any. It's just like, what's the point? What's the point, Elise? Is there any point? Probably not. Oh, if you've seen, I have got a project with Equity for... we're trying to raise money for the Equity Benevolent Fund, selling a book. So we made a load of videos. So I put a link. It's not on my channel. It's on the Equity Sunshine in Your Pocket channel. But I did put a link on my... on the messaging page on YouTube and everywhere else. So you can go and see that. I edited it and I put the subtitles and I'm doing one of the voices, but it's not my poem. Hello, Boheme. It's not my poem, it's somebody else's poem. And this woman called Denise Redford has written this book of happy poems. Happy, joyful poems to make you think happy, joyful things. They're life affirming. And then you buy them and you go, I'm affirmed, my life is affirmed, and I'm helping people that need help, and everything's good, and my life is affirmed. So that's what it's for. So you should buy those. An Equity charity, yeah, to help people, because there's a lot of people out of work at the moment. The thing is with actors and other people in the entertainment business is they're usually out of work anyway. Now at the moment, there's a lot of people out of work, and also because all the sort of jobs that you do as a sort of day job, as a job when you're not acting or being stuntmen or extras, or there's a lot of different jobs involved with Equity, directors. Anyway, all the entertainmenty type jobs, the singing and the comedians and the acting and the dancing and the modelling, any of that's not on, and none of the day jobs are on anymore either because everybody's staying at home. So if you can't go and make money, that's a bit of a problem. So hopefully that will help people that are in need, and that will help the economy and people and sanity, and everything will be, I don't know, hopefully, you never know. So we've got 2 already come out. There was one on Friday, and then yesterday, the one that I was involved with, although I've put them all up, I've created the channel. Credit. But there's more coming. There's one on Monday, because of the weekend. My one was yesterday and today, and then there's another one tomorrow, and then there's another one every day until Friday. So keep tuned. Anyway, I don't know whether me saying that is going to make any difference at all, because I've only got 2 people watching me. But thank you very much for joining me, the 2 people, Bohem and possibly somebody else who has not made themselves visible. I don't know who is it. Yeah, nobody. I've got things appearing. So yeah, I do look tired, don't I? Very tired. This morning I was trying a mask on to go out because my flatmate hadn't been out with his mask and he wanted to test it. So we decided to put our masks on and go for a perambulation around the park. Nobody else was wearing masks, but we were, so we're very safe. And to just see whether you can breathe in it, really. And I've ordered some more online too, because I've been wearing masks all week in where I'm working, because it's not obligatory, but it is advisory, especially when you're, and there's a lot of colds around. So hopefully that helps. But it's been the sort of surgical ones, and I want to have some more happy, smiley looking ones. Not a smiley face, because that might look very scary, but you know, friendly looking masks. That's what I've got. So I've got some nice big checks coming. Everyone wants some nice big checks. That would be nice. You can't pay them in or anything unless you've got the right app. But no big checks as in like plaid, I think you call it in America. It's a little bit like tartan, only not really tartan. Sort of tartan light. Pretend tartan. Not the cheap, the disposable ones do break easily. One of my colleagues put one on and the elastic almost immediately broke. So they're not good. So I want some nice ones that I can wash and that are ethical and good. And I checked out, and apparently 600 thread Egyptian cotton, which I used to write fanfic, and I used to read a lot of fanfic. And for some reason, people that used to write fanfic were very obsessed with 600 count Egyptian cotton. You'd think, oh well, they'd write something else, but for some reason, I don't know what it was, there was an awful lot of description about the sheets, how amazing the sheets were, that they were always 600 count Egyptian cotton. I was like, is that a thing? I don't know. Anyway, these masks are apparently that. So I could use them in a fanfic. Yes, what sort of fanfic, you ask? Oh, well, that's a big secret. Anything! I used to write lots of different fic. I never wrote anything about 600 thread count cotton, because that's not really my thing. Obviously, somebody was really, really into sheets that were, the luxury of the sheets. I would have thought silk sheets if that you were going for luxury, but apparently, anyway, that's the thing. Yeah, it was just this week that I was reminded of the fanfic, because it's a long time since I was involved with doing fanfic, but I did. It was more or less, it was like, what is that fandom? Is there any writing about that? Or has anyone else written fanfic? No. Has anybody else written about that relationship? No. Well, then I will write about that. So basically it was more of a challenge than anything else. I was really, really just sort of up for the challenge. It's like, I will write something like that. And it was sort of, it's a vent, isn't it? Everyone needs a hobby. And it was a good vent. So when I wasn't really writing anything else, I would write those. Just as a sort of, So I've written an awful lot of words about other people's worlds and creations, where I've slightly altered their intentions and taken liberties, basically. Taken liberties. Does Nigel Havers have his own company? Possibly. Is that a joke? Nigel Havers have his own mask company? I don't know. I'm not sure what that means. I'm sure there's some sort of subtext to that question, Bohem. I really don't know what it is. Anyway, I've just outed myself as a fanfic writer, haven't I? But not for a long time. Because I wrote a Singing in the Rain one, and at the time I wrote it, there's not an awful lot of fanfic about singing in the rain. Now, there is some out there now, but I was watching a video and somebody mentioned fanfic about singing in the rain, and I'm like, am I still the only one that ever wrote that? And it turns out not. So if you do go looking for that, it's not going to be a needle in a haystack. I think there's still not that many out there, but one of them was written by me. And so basically, if you find that, you find the key to everything else I've ever written, and on your own head be it. I'm just going to say that. If you find it and you read it, I'm not going to take responsibility. I'm just going to go, well, What can you do? It's there. A lot of people have read it under an assumed name. Although, when I first started writing it, I wrote it under my own name, and somebody said, "Do you really want to do that?" And I'm like, "Why? I'm very, very, very. I'm very fanfic is the key. I'm very, very proud of it." And they go, "Yeah, but a lot of people aren't proud of that." I was so proud of it that I almost mentioned it at a job interview once, and I stopped myself. Because most people aren't proud of it. Most people are sensible enough to keep that secret, and I have kept it a secret for a long time, but it is there. It's like I watched Sophie Hagen is a comedian, did a whole show in Edinburgh about how she used to write fanfic about I think Boyzone or Westlife, one of those. And I watched that show and I was like, I bet I got in. I never wrote anything about Westlife. I've got to say that. I've never written anything. I didn't really write any real life fan fiction because that's a step too far and I didn't want to step on anybody's toes. But I had written about characters in particular. Yes, exactly. 50 Shades of Grey is based on somebody else's. It was fanfic originally based on Twilight, I think. And then she adapted it and just changed the names and then made loads of money out of it. Now, I don't think you could do that with mine. Thinking about it, no. There is some long form stuff, but I'm thinking it probably isn't marketable in that way. It's more niche, possibly. I'm not ashamed of it, to be honest, because I'm talking about it now. But I did write it. Anyway, Sophie Hagen had an award-winning show writing about her Westlife. So obviously it's all mainstream now. It's been mainstream for ages. But I've written a lot of it on a lot of different subjects. Of other people's characters. Oh, what I was going to say, yes, because I wrote some fanfic about characters. And then I met the actors that played the characters. And I had to talk to them. And in a professional setting sometimes, interview them with the sort of like, because I'd imagine them in all sorts of different ways. Yes. Oh, I don't think you'll have. I very much doubt, Rufus, that I'm in anything that you've seen because it's all a little bit obscure and you're probably best off avoiding it. But there are films out there. There's one called Dark Rage, I think is only available in America, and there is a scene of me in it. I've got lines, although my flatmate came to see the premiere, and I said, "Hey, I had lines," because I didn't know whether I'd be cut. And he's like, "Did you? I didn't notice." So it's like, well, that didn't go. I'm not in it for very long. Well, I'm very pivotal. I'm very important in Dark Rage, but I'm not in it for very long. And another one is Exorcism, which it is available. Best out of it, really. And I'm also very, very briefly, and I don't even know whether I've still got a line, in something called Patient 17. I think it's called Patient 17. I did have a line. It might have got cut. It probably has. I've never seen it. But that's, I'm here and there. I have done the acting. Possibly not successfully. But you can find me acting on my YouTube channel. Look. There are short films aplenty. There are characters and, I don't just talk at the camera. I mainly just talk at the camera. I'm just multifaceted in my lack of skills, basically. Yes, I was a journalist for a long time, though, and I did interview, as I said, a lot of the people. I mean, the main question I used to ask people when I was a journalist is, how did you get famous? How did you get acting work? Because I was more obsessed. I was sort of trying to segue out of that, really, into something else, move across to get the acting work. Nothing's really been successful in my life, to be honest. I did do journalism for like 6 or 7 years. So I met a lot of people that were a lot more famous and more skilled and more successful than me, which sort of rubs it in a little bit. It does. It really does. Anyway, so now, how am I different? What music would you put? How am I different? I don't know. I don't know. What music would you put to my? I don't know. Christina and the Queens. That's what music I would put to all the fanfic. I don't know what. Yeah. Just say that. That's the first person that came to mind. I don't know. I didn't even get the name of the artist right then. But I'm going in and out of focus. That's because it's a bit dark in here. So yeah, um yeah. At the moment I'm not massively successful. Whether I ever was, I'm not has been, because to be a has been you will have had to been something in the first place. Really? I'm a still to come, possibly. Still to be. But one of my, that's the thing. That's probably why I wrote the fanfic, is because that was instant gratification. You'd put it out there and people would go, "Oh, that's so amazing," and write comments, and you just instantly publish it and instantly get the adulation and the oh, it's just like, ooh, yes, rose tinted boots. Yes, I've got loads of rose tinted boots. What? Anyway, how am I different? I don't know. How am I different? Is that a question, or I don't know whether that's a rhetorical question or not. Oh, that's a terrible angle, isn't it? Oh, I'm looking really, really, really rough and tired. I'm back to work tomorrow. I've had a whole weekend of. What mostly I've been doing this weekend is looking at grocery shopping. That's the problem. Rose tinted boots. Yeah, it probably is. So I've been grocery shopping for my mother, because now they're in lockdown. She's like, we're not going to get out. Can you do online grocery shopping for me? So I did that. And for me too. I was looking at all the nice things that I can eat. If I don't get out the house, then I will need nice things to eat. But I have got a cupboard full of mainly chickpeas. But that's okay, because I made hummus yesterday. And I made hummus over the... Not being different is the problem, possibly, Bohem. I made hummus early on in the lockdown, but it was a bit lumpy because I just had a fork and I tried to make it. But I have now got a food processor, which is quite a good one. So I made hummus in no time at all. I went zing, 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 hummus. So I've had hummus for 3 days. And so I've got lots of chickpeas, so I can probably eat quite a lot of hummus. But... you can't live on hummus alone, can you? Or can you? Possibly you can. So I want other food that's not hummus. But I saw something that was coconut bacon. I saw that on Amazon or something, and it looked quite expensive. But then I saw that it was in the supermarket that I ordered stuff off. So then I can't just order coconut bacon. So I have to order lots of other things as well. Why is it called hummus? I don't know. Ask the people that invented it, who are Levantine stroke Greek stroke Turkish stroke. I don't know. I don't know where hummus is invented. The Middle East somewhere. Middle East and the Mediterranean. All those places. So ask the people there. It's probably got other names as well. It's not Bohem, but it's not completely. There's a lot of cultures that eat hummus. So it's a general sort of all-purpose chickpea paste with some tahini and lemon juice and maybe a bit of olive oil and garlic, and what else did I put in it? Salt. Needs salt. So that's what was in it. And it was delicious. And a bit of water so that it would actually blend properly, because I did not want to break the blades of my not completely brand new, but fairly new food pressers. I've used it maybe 5 or 6 times, so it's still quite new. So I didn't want to break the blades, because that's how I broke the last one, which wasn't mine, is I tried to make hummus and I stuck it in the chickpeas and it went zing, 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 and then I could smell a terrible burning, and it hadn't really made hummus. It had just sort of exploded, and so I didn't want to ruin it. But this one's really good, so now I can make lots of hummus. Yay! So you can follow my recipe there's a video, but I would advise, instead of doing it the way that I did it, get a hand blender and do it that way, and it's ever so quick, using the same exact recipe, but much more effective. It does take a long time if you're forking it, and I did very much fork it. So yeah, just make better ones. So I did make banana bread over the holidays. I did make it! Actually, I had, but I didn't. What I had was a Teff banana bread mix. So I had lots of bananas and I made the teff mix. But the thing is, then I tried the teff again. I made teff pancakes. I didn't see Harry Hill on TV. Teff pancakes, and then I got all itchy and I wondered whether I was allergic to it. But I think that was just, I think maybe I got bitten by a flea or something, possibly. Harry Hill, I like Harry Hill. I used to like it when he was brewing those badgers. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of modern day things that Harry Hill does these days, but I really was a big fan of when he was grooming those badgers, which is quite a long time ago now. Yes. What's happened to those badgers? So that was when Al Murray was his sidekick. Do you remember that? Back in the day, long time ago. Al Murray, that's somebody. I never wrote fanfic about Al Murray. I never wrote pub landlord fanfic at all. Maybe I should have done. But I did twice interview Al Murray, and I also he was at an event that I was at where he was performing that far away from me, really close. So I've seen him on very many occasions. He probably wouldn't remember me if he saw me, because I interviewed him twice and he didn't remember me the second time. So, yeah. I've never met Harry Hill, though. True story, not a very exciting one. I've met a lot of celebrities, and the last celebrity I met before I stopped being a journalist was Rory McGrath. And I told him that I was going to Edinburgh to perform and I was stopping being a journalist, and he said, oh, my daughter is going to be in Edinburgh and she's going to be at this particular venue. I'm like, oh, because that was the exact venue that I was at. And then I was like, it's a sign. And then I left my journalism job, and a week later I won an acting award for my short film, Vestal Virgin. And then I went to Edinburgh, and then I never got famous and nothing else ever happened to me ever again. So it was not a sign. It was an initial blip of success that led to nothing in particular. I was convinced I was going to win an Edinburgh Award. Like, it wasn't the Perrier there. I don't know what it was. It was Foster's or something award by then. They keep changing the person that was or organisation. That I think it was a Foster's Award that year. I don't know what it is now. I think it's just an Edinburgh Comedy Award. I was convinced I was going to win that. I didn't win it, but somebody else that was at that venue I saw. Where did I see them? Oh yeah, Ghosts. I was watching Ghosts, and the person that played the vicar in the last episode, he was also at my venue. He was the show just before the show that I was in. He is, yes. Just before the show he was in. I can't remember his name, but he had a show called Knockers, I think it was. Because what he did was every day before his show, he would go knocking on people's doors and do some sort of survey of people, and then he would base his show on that. But I can't remember his name. But he's the vicar in the last episode of Ghosts, which is a good series. I like Ghosts. I hope they make another series. I don't know whether they're going to make any more series of anything ever else. Anything that is around now is probably made before March time. And anything that appears from now on, is there going to be anything? It's nothing. We're just sort of milling through what's left of the olden times. And then when that's all run out, there's no new stuff. So that's because there was a new series of Ghosts, because they finished that before the times all changed. I've gone all mouldy. I'm going to say mouldy. It's not mouldy. It's fuzzy. In and out of focus. It's very dark in here. That's what it is. So I don't know what else is going to come. What can I see? I'm running out of things. I've been watching AP Bio, which I think I mentioned last week. And I might watch Better Off Dead with Maisie Williams. That's on Sky Go, isn't it? And ow, just noticed I've got a big bite or something in my. I've got a bite out of my leg. What's happened there? I don't know. That's a bit worrying. Yeah. So everything's tickety-boo. No, it's not. Everything's changed, and I don't know what's happening. Everything's changed. All Creatures Great and Small. I tell you what, I haven't seen that, but apparently somebody that I went to college with called Sean Carlson, he's a couple of years older than me, but he went to, I think he was at the college that I did foundation drama at. He was a slightly older student, and I think he's in an episode of it. And I think somebody that was in a short film was like saying that they're in a secret project that they're filming. So people are doing work now. Yeah, in a secret project that he's filming. And so other people that I know have been successful, just not me. Maybe it's because I focus so much on things like fanfic rather than things that are actually going to make me some success. And yeah, that was probably it. If only there was a way to get famous from writing fanfic. Oh yes, there was. That person that, yeah, of course. 50 Shades of Grey. Oh well. If that's not me though, is it? So there's all different sorts of ways to get successful, and I failed miserably at all of them. Yay! But then again, I'm in the same boat. It doesn't make me happy to be in the same boat as everybody else right now, but I think everybody's in a sort of, no, what the... Except for the people, like the person, Sean Carson, who's in All Greeks is Great and Small, and the person that was in the short film. Yeah, so some people are doing well. Hooray for them! I do feel, this is it, I feel really happy when people do really well. I genuinely do. What I don't feel happy about is the fact that I'm not doing very well and I've let myself down. So I don't have any jealousy or envy of their success, because their success is their success. It's not my success. I can't have somebody else's success. That would be ridiculous. What I do feel bad about is, oh no, I've made a mess of my life. Really? But their life, I'm very, very happy when they've what am I talking about? When they've done well. I think everybody that does well, I'm like, yay! Yeah, you've done well. But I'm also like, oh, I haven't done very well. Because it makes you think, doesn't it? Makes you consider your own misfortunes and failures. And that's the joy of life. It doesn't make you any less happy about other people's success. You know, I think there's quotes about people saying that they really hate it when their friends succeed. It's like, I don't hate it when my friends succeed. You get a bit of vicarious joy out of it, I suppose. You know, yay, my friends! Hooray, hooray, hooray. But even so, broken milk bottles, okay, yeah. But even so, I suppose you do get vicarious success from other people's success. Yeah, that's joy, isn't it? I do feel very happy for them. Yeah, it doesn't really help you if somebody else does well, really, does it? But it's really good for them, and I suppose you've got to make joy where you can. Crying over spilt milk. Yeah, no, there's not spilt milk, because when things go wrong, it's like, yeah, you can't do anything about that. That's too late. That's fine. It still makes you feel a little bit melancholy and like, I could have done better, but I didn't. Oh well, everybody dies, so that's the end of that. Joy! Yeah, that's a little bit grim, isn't it? Oh, I saw the film Midsommar yesterday, and it was the most predictable, because I had seen Hereditary a couple of weeks ago, and I really thought this was completely in Swedish for some reason, so I'd held off from watching it, because I do like films with subtitles, but I was like, whatever, but it's not all, some of it's in Swedish. But I started watching it, and I'm like, that's going to happen, yes it did. Oh, I think that's going to happen, yes it did. I mean, you know, maybe they deliberately made it very predictable, so you'd feel very clever when you knew exactly what was going to happen next. But there was not one point where I didn't think, I wasn't surprised or shocked. I was like, haha, that's silly. Like when shocking things happened, I was like, yeah, that's okay. I won't tell you what happened. I'm obviously not going to spoil it, but I was playing the game of is that going to happen? Yes, that's happened. I'm not going to tell you anything that happens. That would spoil it for you. I'm not a spoily person. I ruin your enjoyment of it, but I'm not going to ruin your step-by-step enjoyment of it. No, it is an enjoyable film, but I thought it was really funny. Maybe it will be shocking and terribly, I mean, I've heard it's really disturbing and shocking, but maybe I'm just the sort of person that is just like, yeah. Maybe different sensibilities. If you like that sort of thing. I did like that sort of thing. I mean, it's very like Wicker Man. And I really like The Wicker Man. So there you go. I think he could have done with more songs. Not The Wicker Man. The Wicker Man's got great songs in it. The Wicker Man is a musical, especially the cut. How do you make money during lockdown? Well, I was on furlough for a little bit and I made a little teeny bit from YouTube. Not very much. And now I'm back at work. So that's how I make money. I didn't have any money at all in the whole of August because furlough ended and that was me done. But I have gone back to work now, so I've got some money. Not a great deal, but probably more than a lot of people who are still searching for the money. But so I haven't really done any gigs for a while, or done any acting work or anything. But that was never really very lucrative for me, to be honest. One of those things that's gone a bit wrong for me. You always try though, don't you? Keep on trying. Keep on trucking. As I believe the one of those, is it Partridge Family? I'm going to say Partridge Family. We never really had the Partridge Family over here, but they were on repeat. I'm sure they did have something like that. Probably. I don't know. Was it the Partridge Family? The Waltons. Yeah, the Waltons kept on trucking. Probably as well. They had a truck. They must have kept on truck. They did have a truck, didn't they? Yeah. I tell you one thing about the Waltons. I used to... I don't know which one it was. One of the medium... I used to watch it when I was tiny. And I used to think that my finger looked like one of the Walton girls. I'd go, oh, she looks exactly like my finger. That's really weird. That's just like, yeah. I don't know what the names of them are. She was the one that had sort of fairish brown hair. Not the red-headed kid. I can't remember any from... No, not Lisbeth. She was the red-headed one. No, it was Mary Jane or Sarah Beth or... I don't know what they were called. I can't remember the Waltons. Anyway, but I used to really look at my finger and go, it looked exactly like that girl out of the Waltons. It doesn't. I mean, it's bigger. If it did ever... It's not now because I'm talking about when I was about 5 and I'm not 5 now. So maybe I'd see it again and go, yes, my finger still looks exactly like the girl out of the Waltons. That's a bizarre thing to think. But I used to look at just like the curtains and stuff and see things in the Billy Bob and Sarah Lou and I can't remember what any of them called. So I did used to just like stare. I caught myself when I was a little kid, like I'd just be like staring into space and I'd go into a daydream, and then when I came to that I realised the shape was on a curtain or a carpet or a wall. John Boy was definitely one of them. Yes, Boheme. John Boy was one of them, but I don't think he was one of the girls. Somehow. But didn't they have 2 John Boys? There was one with a big mole John Boy, and then other John Boy that didn't have a big mole. Am I imagining? What I remember about Waltons, apart from good night John Boy, good night whatever, that thing, was those sisters that made moonshine, their special medicine. I remember that. And I remember also the very special episode where somebody brought their Jewish fiancé home and somebody said something horrible and she went, oh, I'm Jewish. And they all went, oh, I'm sorry. So I remember that one. That's all. I did watch the Waltons. Whoops. That went a bit wonky, didn't it? Anyway. It's Yom Kippur tomorrow, isn't it? So the Day of Atonement. So if anyone's got anything to atone for, it's probably the day, even if not Jewish, probably the day to do it. Because why not? Basically, what else can you do? Anyway, I don't even know what I'm good. Whatever. Just things. Whatever. I don't even know what's happening. And apparently people are not going to be going home for Christmas because of the lockdown. So you're going to just be staying in your house, and you can still order probably mince pies and turkey, and if you like turkey, if you eat turkey and mince pies and alcohol if you do that, and just have Christmas in your house. Well, I've been talking non-stop for 34 minutes, 35 minutes nearly. to no avail, but what's new? So I'm going to just log off now. As yet, I still haven't edited the videos. Would I rather be a student? I don't know. I like... Really? Okay. BM. Would I rather be a student? I was thinking of being a student again. I was like, oh, I miss being a student. I like... Because there was a time in my life that I was always doing a course or of something. I did lots of drama courses and writing courses and all sorts of courses even after I stopped being a student. And then I just stopped trying. Basically, I haven't done any courses about anything or any evening classes or anything for ages and ages and ages and ages and ages. I probably should. Something to do, isn't it? Anyway, I'm going to, at some point, edit one of the videos from the summer. I haven't got around to it now. But in the meantime, you can go and see the poem, which is available on the Equity Sunshine in Your Pocket channel. There's another poem there that's called A Time to Shine. The one I did was to be a Child Again. So To Be a Child Again is the Northwest London one. And then there's a solo one from, I think, the West and Southwest. And that's by Amira Challenger. Is reading it on her own. And that's lovely. And there's more to come. Anyway... I shall see you anon. Anon. That anonymous. No, not anon. At another time. Yes. Anyway, the words are funny. English language is strange. Anyway, I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.